What's up, everybody? Brian here in the Gecko Lab. Thank you for joining me. Today, I want to tell you a story about shipping a gecko, a box that FedEx lost for a week, and how it all turned out okay in the end. As many of you know, most of the geckos that I sell get shipped to my customers overnight via FedEx in a box just like this. They're foam insulated, reptile approved shipping boxes, and they have to be sent next day delivery via FedEx. Now, I get a lot of people that ask me, they say, oh, I want to buy a gecko, but I'm nervous. I've never had one shipped. Isn't that dangerous for them? So I wanted to share this story, not to scare you about the shipping process, but to show you that even when things go drastically wrong, it really is extremely safe for these animals. Real quick, I want to take just a moment to let you guys know that this video is brought to you by FreeGeckoGiveaways.com. Free Gecko Giveaways is your one-stop shop for all of your top gecko diets, caging accessories, merch, and more. With free shipping on every order, and every dollar you spend is one entry to win our grand prize, a fully built Zen Habitats Crested Gecko setup just like this, with a new grand prize given away every 6 weeks. Every purchase you make gets you entered to win. Check it out now at FreeGeckoGiveaways.com. So I recently had a customer that's in state. They don't even live that far from me. They're about a 5-hour drive away, but still a 10-hour round trip for them to come pick up their gecko. We thought we'll just ship it to them. And I shipped this exact box with their gecko in it to my customer on a Wednesday. I gave it to FedEx on a Wednesday. It should be delivered Thursday morning. Thursday morning comes around and the customers haven't seen the gecko. Thursday night comes around, they haven't seen the gecko. Now at this point, I'm not really that concerned. 1-day delays are not common, but not unheard of in the shipping world, and I know the gecko is going to be fine. This is fairly common. I'm not too concerned. Now in this case, unlike most delays that I have, 99% of the time it's a 1-day delay. The gecko gets there the following morning and everything's fine. In this case, the gecko didn't show up Friday either, and at that point I was more concerned because I know FedEx does not do deliveries on Saturdays or Sundays, and my gecko's not going to get to these customers until at best Monday. Now I do not want my geckos stuck in a box sitting on a trailer somewhere for an entire weekend. But worse than that, when we called FedEx to try and get some info about what had happened and where the gecko was, they didn't know. FedEx literally told us, we lost this box, we do not know where it's at. All day Saturday, Sunday, and all day Monday, nobody could find this box. Now, by this point, me, my customer, and the excellent team at Redline Shipping were all trying to dig into where this box had gotten, and then it wasn't until Tuesday morning when I finally got a call from a guy at a local FedEx hub here in the Denver area, and he told me, I have your box. I opened it up, and thankfully the gecko is alive and well, and I headed down there to pick up this box. Now, at this point, the really strange thing was the guy that called me was at a FedEx ground facility, and FedEx Ground and FedEx Express are different entities. They don't work together. So how this box ended up at a FedEx ground facility was an absolute mystery. And I actually got a little bit annoyed with them because the guy on the phone told me, well, this all happened because you put 2 different tracking labels on this box. Now that's a huge no-no. In the shipping world, you do not ever want 2 tracking labels on a box because it causes problems like this. The box gets lost. Nobody can tell where it is. FedEx doesn't know where it's supposed to go. But I knew I never reuse shipping boxes. This is one of the reasons why. If you reuse a shipping box and it has an old label on it, for example, and FedEx doesn't know which one to scan, it can cause serious problems. And I always use brand new, unused shipping boxes exactly for that reason. So when the guy told me that it was my fault for having 2 tracking numbers on this box, I actually got a little bit annoyed. Now, when I finally got down to the FedEx hub and picked the box up, we were able to figure out what happened. And it turns out, as I knew, it wasn't my fault at all. So the way it works, when you give a box to somebody at FedEx, they scan it and they put a secondary label on it. And that secondary label has the tracking number, a barcode, all the info that all of the FedEx workers and the delivery driver will need to get the box to where it's supposed to go. This particular guy that I had given my box to at my local FedEx hub, he was scanning a bunch of boxes at a time. He's got a scanner and a label printer, and he scans a box, sticks a label, scans a box, sticks a label. Well, sometimes there's a miscommunication between your scanner and your printer. I know this because I worked at UPS for 16 years. I have done this. I have literally ruined someone's day the way this guy ruined mine. And what happens is you scan a box and the label printer either misses a scan or spits out the wrong label, and you end up putting the wrong label on the wrong box, and that's what happened here. So this worker had stuck a tracking label on my box that was for a different address, a different business, and a different location altogether. To make matters worse, the business that this tracking label was attached to was actually closed. So that's the reason my box kind of circulated through the FedEx system and ended up getting shuffled down to this random ground warehouse where they have a big room where they just put packages for businesses that they know are closed, and they're willing to hold them until the business reopens again. Well, that's where my box went because they thought it was going to a business that's been shut down for a short time. It wasn't until a week later when this guy found my box. They knew they were looking for it. They had all the FedEx places looking for this box. He finally found it. He called me and he said, "Hey, I've got your Gecko. I opened it. The Gecko is alive and well. Please come pick it up." So I drove down there, I picked it up, and amazingly, the Gecko, as you can see, is perfectly fine. He actually looks really good. He's not even skinny or sunken in like he's very dehydrated. It's an amazing testament to exactly how strong these animals are. It spent 6 full days in a deli cup, in a shipping box, and it is perfectly fine and very, very healthy. Now, I want to impress upon you guys that this is an absolute outlier. It's why I'm making a video about this one. In 15 years of selling geckos, I ship 400 to 500 boxes every year. I've had something like this happen exactly 2 times. It is extremely rare, and shipping geckos is extremely safe. That's why I wanted to highlight this exact situation, because even in such a worst case scenario, the Gecko was fine and shipping reptiles is very safe. In fact, the other time that I've had this happen, it was with a large box that had 50 geckos in it, and it was lost for well over a week. It was lost, I think that one was gone for 9 days, and it also, every gecko was perfectly fine when I opened that box up as well. All right, everybody, there's a quick story for you about some shipping shenanigans we had here recently at Altitude Exotics. Thanks for sticking around for my story. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I appreciate it. As always, be safe, be kind to each other. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.